Go check this thing out. I think I've showed this before, but we're a little closer now. Need a little work on the doors here. I'm sure there's some Bondo in here, but if you know what year this is, let me know. It's probably a 65 or something, in the 60s. That's pretty cool. Can't really see inside here. It looks cool though. Wonder if it's got the original 327 or the old straight sixer. So hello there and welcome. We're actually sitting on a 36 Aquila here. As you can see, we got some pretty crappy weather out there. Hold. Phone. Hello. No worries. Just wondering if I could put plugs in this, or if we have a clearance to do that, because it's definitely missing pretty bad. Okay, cool. Yep. Well, okay, that answers that. I was going to show you this boat, which I'll actually show you real quick, but I got to get pricing, because I can't just repair things without having authorization. So let me go do that. But before I do that, I'll show you what I'm doing here. We just have a missing Mercury, which I've made a video on with the spark plugs and common problems. But after we leave here, we are going to go to Bradenton and do a steering actuator, hence the title of the video, replacing the steering actuator. And this is a Gen 2, so I'll walk you through it. Pretty simple. And anyway, let's just get started. Alright, so it's our port engine here. Let's just fire it up here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Here she is here. And give it a little time here, she'll start missing at idle. I already had it running for a little while, but typically it's the plugs. I think this thing's due for maintenance anyways, but we want to see if the plugs cleared up before we do any more maintenance to it. Oh, there she goes. Can't really see it because it's not shaking. I can feel it on the boat. There you go. I don't know if you can hear that. Starting to do it more as it warms up. Starting to lean it out probably. Well, I'm going to shut this one down for now. Hopefully we can beat the rain here, and I'll see you in Bradenton. Alright, we are here. So make sure our batteries are off. This is a 380 Realm. Everything's off. So, I've already opened everything up, got our tools, the actuator right there, hopefully don't fall off. And we have 2 steering pumps. So all this stuff's been changed because this is like a 5-year-old boat now. And so this is Gen 3, or Gen C, I should say, the 3rd revision of these pumps, which is the last one they're using because everything's electric now. But this one was empty when I got to it. I looked at this boat about a week ago. So we have no power steering fluid, throwing a code because the motor wasn't moving. So let's take a look at the motor. So here we also have 2 Gen 2 actuators, which is the 2nd version of their actuator. So we got 3 versions of the pumps and 2 versions of the actuators here, and it's our last ones. Like I say, it's electric now. So this is the actuator that had the empty fluid, so I put some fluid in there, and still no, immediately basically lost all the fluid and set the alarm off. If we look right here, I was wondering where the fluid was going. Maybe there's a leak in the line or something, but see if I can zoom in, see all that crap down there? That's all steering fluid all over the motor. So what happened here, that's what it looks like, is where this thing bolts to the midsection or the swivel bracket, it's leaking out of it. So I got the new one over here. Let's go take a look and we can see maybe where the seal's leaking. Alright, so here's our new one, brand new in the box. It's a new seal, and can't really see anything, but these are like hydraulic pistons right here that move back and forth, push the actuator one way or the other here. So it's obviously pouring out of one of these seals, maybe both, and it's just losing it through this seal, which goes to the midsection, and then it ends up leaking down through everything. So here's our new one. Let's put it on. So the first thing I'm going to do here is cut all of our wire off of our little holder there and pull that out. So let's see if we can find the other end of that. Alright, should be somewhere behind our generator or somewhere right over here. It's always fun trying to get in the hole here. It might get dark. So I can see here's our line right here. Let's see. There we go. There's our 6-pin connector right there for our steering actuator. Sorry the darkness here, but let's unplug this. That comes right out of our hole there where we're going to be taking it out. Also pop our cover off our pump here. Like I say, I don't think there's much fluid in there. See, look, it's pumped a lot of it out. I just filled it before I checked it last time, and I fill it all the way to the top, and it pumped that much out in about 5 seconds of me testing the pump. So definitely a big problem here. All right, let's cut all of our zip ties out of here. Redo that when we put the new one on here. All right, that should be all of them. Oh, I missed one. They really like to lock their wires down here, Whaler. There we go. Now let's get this out of here, just screws. Let's also get this out of our way here, kind of over the top of everything. Little flush valve. Zip these out. All this stuff's new. And of course, look, I got the long bit on my drill. Looks like we're gonna have to go get a screwdriver or a short bit. There we go. Yeah, it's better. Perfect. Now we can pull this off, and I've already unplugged it, so it should come out of the hole here. There we go. That's sometimes the hard part, depending on where that wire ends up and it's tied up or behind something, but pretty easy on this one. We got a lot of room. So next, we shouldn't have to mess with this. This shouldn't be a problem. We can keep that right there. But these guys are held on. Let me get the camera over here, but it's basically in the front, or I guess the rear here. There's 2 bolts. I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. All right, you see right there, those 2 guys right there. It's gonna be hard to get the camera in here because it's squeezed between the motors, but I think there's 10mm. So this is all it is right here, 1 on each side. So it locks down basically right to here. Turn this right into these right here. We got pins that line it up, so those line up perfectly no matter what. And you just tighten them down, and you bend these tabs right here to keep those from backing out, because this is a steering item. It's got to have a double lock here basically, so it won't go nowhere. And these are not 10mm. I was wrong. It's a little small, but they're 13mm. So let me go bend these tabs. I'm not gonna be able to show you that because it's kind of a pain to get a camera in between there, but I'm gonna go bend these out, get these out, and we'll be able to yank our actuator off there. All right, there's our old ones. Yeah, they're kind of a pain. Took me 20 minutes to kind of pick at those and bend them back so I can access them, because they're between the motors and you can't really hit them with too much. So let's get it off there. Let's try not to leak any oil, and grab a diaper here. Oh, and another thing here too is you want to probably drain your fluid out. This one doesn't have much in it, but we got our diaper here. We can pull these lines, but loosen these first, because that way you're not torquing on it and the thing falls off, because this comes off pretty easy. So let's just pull these off. Also remember where they go. They're a little bit different on the Gen 1 to Gen 2, but they basically fit the same way. Sometimes you have to change the lines out if they're not long enough, but this one seemed okay. So yeah, we'll get these off. We should be able to shake our actuator right off here. Should be good and lubed up here with all the oil that it spilled out of it. All right, anytime now. Come on. There we go. Now let's see if we can just shake it. Sometimes it wants to come off, but we might have to pick at it. She's moving. Yeah, let me tap it right here. Since this actuator is bad, we can just give it a few love taps here. All right, let's see if she moves. Yeah, she's moving a little bit. Yeah, we can see her moving good now. Let's see if she'll wiggle off now. There she goes. Ooh. There she is. It's pretty gross. It's been leaking in there for a little while. I'll have to clean all that up. All right, well, here she is. To me, it looks like this seal was compromised. Zoom in here. Nasty, which means that it got water in it, and it killed our hydraulic seals here, which you can see there's fluid there, so it's been pushing out of these seals for a while. Let me go clean up our nasty mess underneath there. So you could take this out of the way if you want to, but you don't need to, because it kind of just slides up underneath there. Just whoever did this, at least they greased it for me. That's definitely helpful. So this guy basically just goes to our swivel tube in there and goes straight down. So it looks like we should be able to clean this off. Let me go get some cleaner. I'm going to spray all this down and clean it up real good. Alright, so just like whoever installed the last actuator, we're going to grease this up. Try to help that seal as much as possible. I clean the surface real good. Put a little in here where it pivots. It'll help it on our pins here. Might be a little bit too much, but it can't hurt anything. Obviously you see what happened there. The grease saved a lot of this. So now we just have to reverse the process. Slap the new one on, make sure the pins line up, put our new locks on here, and that's it. Plug it in and we'll make sure it works. So let me, I need both my hands to wiggle this thing on there, but it's pretty simple. Like you see, it's just one hole and 2 dowel pins, and it should line up and lock these down. I think these bolts, don't quote me on this, I think it's 18 foot-pounds, something like that. And then you just bend the tabs, and I'll show you that when I'm all done here. So let me just slap it on here, and then we'll continue on. Alright, our actuator's on here. Move this out of the way. Slid right on, no big deal. Got our little bolts down there. They're all tied in. Got no issues here. So one thing you're going to want to do too here is these new actuators come with straight fittings. They're loose. Make sure you check all your fittings. They're all tighter. This thing has 1,000 psi of hydraulic pressure. It'll definitely spray out if you're loose anywhere. But we need our old one here. Stainless, luckily, so no big deal. And we're basically just mocking them up the way they were, because they worked. Facing down just like that. Then we can put our lines on here and we tighten those up. Yeah, like I say, remember where they go. And if you're going Gen 2 to Gen 1, usually they match up. So our starboard one would go to our starboard side, and our port one goes to our port side. So yeah, let me grab these. We'll slap them on here and get our wire in the hole. Okay, so lines are on. There's our wire right here and our little seal for it. It's also got a seal on this side right here. So let's stick her in our hole here. We'll go to the other side, that way we can zip tie our line up here just like the other side, just like it was. Let's go find it over there now. Down in the hole where I live half my life. Alright. Oh, there she is. Alright, it's kind of dark like I say. Snap. We are good. That was just sitting back here with the rest of the wiring. It's tied up on the shelf back here basically. There we go. Definitely gonna have to add a bunch of fluid here because it's gonna eat it. Fill that actuator up. Alright, we're almost done. Let me just use both my hands here because it'll take me 30 minutes to try to zip tie this down with one hand holding the camera here. But let me do that. We're already plugged in, and well, we'll lower it down and see what we got. Alright, we're all tied up. She's all hooked up, ready to go here, besides bleeding it, but we gotta get in the water first for that. Down. This thing's a beast. 380 whaler. That color, it's like a brown color. It's growing on me. I didn't like it at first, but it looks pretty good on this boat. Well, we're almost there. She's dipping her feet in the water now. It's funny is how many days or months I've spent waiting on boat lifts to put boats up or down, because every day almost I have to wait for a boat lift. And I've been doing this for 20 years now, so probably adds up pretty quick. Probably just like driving. Alright, that should be plenty low enough. It's nice, they got little steps for you. Help you board here. It's actually almost perfect jumping off the dock there. She's lowered down. Let's fill our reservoir up here. This is going to be low again once we fire it up, but we might get an alarm too. It just depends on if it bleeds right away or not. We can fill this to the top and let it run a while and check it again. There we go, she's full. cap back on. Alright, so let's plug into her too, because we're going to clear this. I always get an engine report off everything I do. We're plugged in here for a Mercury. Let's turn our batteries on. Oh. Right away you hear the toilet pump turn on. Let's turn all of our key switches on here. Alright, we are scanning. It takes a little time because there's a million different modules in this boat and they all connect together. CCM, TVM, steering wheel, everything basically. So let's fire them up here. Oh, you can hear the pump making weird noises already. I don't hear any alarms. I don't see any leaks here. We definitely got pressure. Loud back here with 4 of them running. Well, it looks like we have no alarms, but we're probably out of fluid here, so let's go check it. Oh yeah, she's empty. Might need a little more fluid. Make some weird robot noises. There you go, drink it in. You can almost see the air coming out of it. There we go, we're at the maximum line there, so let's steer it again now that it should steer, and we're probably going to lose some more fluid. Oh, we just sucked it all down before I even get a chance to steer it. So we're real close, a little bit more. There we go. Now they're all moving. We should get the rest of the air out of it too. I always bring extra fluid. We're so close. Right to that second line is where we gotta go. Perfect. We'll check it one more time, obviously. We're gonna joystick it here. Alright, let's see if this joystick works. This will be the test of everything, and then we can double check our fluid. I think we're good. Let's just steer it a couple times. Full lock to lock. Well, good. We got no codes anymore. See that? 0 across the board. Let's turn all these off. Go back in our bilge here. Let's do one more double check. The door's a little heavy with all that weight on it. All right. Look at that, it's perfect. Let's check our other one just since we're here. I did last time, but you never know. Oh, we are good there too. A little overfull really, but that ain't hurting nothing. There we go. Well, good. Everything turned out good here, and I think we're done here. I double checked the fluid, checked the other side. Wiring's tied up. Motor's turning good. They're running good. Got no codes, so another successful mission here. But anyway, if you got any questions, obviously hit me up in the comments. I'll be happy to answer if I can. And it's pretty straightforward. If you have a Gen 1 to Gen 2, you do need this computer so that you can code it from Gen 1 to Gen 2, because the TVMs are kind of dumb, so they have like a amp meter that they don't use anymore. It's all built into the computer, but it's kind of confusing because there's 3 generations of pumps and 2 generations of actuators. So call somebody or even ask me if you got any questions, and I'll be happy to help if I can, like I say. So as always, I appreciate everybody watching. I will see you next time. Later. Wow, that's annoying. It's like a paper cut. It's gonna bother me all day. It's my index finger.